Good afternoon, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Google+. This is Rich again, back for your second video blog of the day for Wednesday, March 2nd, 2016, around 5:03 in the afternoon, Billerica, Massachusetts. Sunshine out right now, but it's gotten real cooler, and it's about in the 40s, but windshield feels like below freezing, and tonight's going to get down in the 20s and teens with the windshield. Tomorrow, going to be cooler than average. Maybe some snow on Friday night, with the greatest chance of several inches of snow at the Cape and the islands. But subject to change. Some news to report. The Minnesota Twins beat the Boston Red Sox by a score of 7-4 in preseason baseball. The Baltimore Ravens have signed Joe Flacco, quarterback, to a 3-year contract extension, and through 2021, it's $66 million. The deal is $44 million guaranteed. Netflix has announced its renewed Fuller House for the second year, or second season, and Dr. Ben Carson will not appear in the GOP presidential debate this Thursday on Fox News. He says there's no path to the presidency. Basically, Dr. Ben Carson's done for the presidential race. He's going to probably drop out, and very few left are in it. And Mitt Romney, the 2012 Republican nominee, is going to make a major announcement for the GOP on Thursday. There's been rumors ramping that he might jump into the race for president of the United States for a third time. We'll wait and see about that. And that's about it on the news. My second video blog subject today is about the former regional sports network / movie channel called Prism, which was Philadelphia Regional in-house sports and movies. Prism lasted 21 years from 1976 through 1997. It was a mix of broadcasting movies and sporting events, but it was known for broadcasting sporting events for Philadelphia sports teams. It was launched in September of 1976. It was co-owned by Spectator Entertainment, which is now Comcast Spectator, and 20th Century Fox Films. And originally, it started broadcasting films during the daytime, and it added sporting events. Like the first sporting event was in September 10th, 1976, a Philadelphia Phillies game from Veterans Stadium. Eventually, the Philadelphia Flyers got all their home games on Prism, and the Phillies and 76ers were at first reluctant to get their home games on Prism because they were afraid it would affect their attendance for the games, because this was an era back then that many home teams did not televise their home games to the local channel because of fear of the fans not coming to the games. This was a different era of sports in the 70s, where people could probably afford going to multiple games of the year, not like now where people get freebies of tickets maybe once or twice a year because it's owned by corporations, the season tickets and most of the tickets. But Ed Schneider, who was the owner of the Flyers, who had the games on Prism, really convinced the owners of the 76ers and the Phillies just to put their home games on television. This will be a big boom for fans who might not be able to attend the games for one reason or another. The 76ers and Phillies reluctantly agreed, and eventually their home games were on Prism. Plus, in addition, Prism showed a lot of college basketball from the Philadelphia area basketball schools, and they had high school sports, and they had a monthly eventually WWE house show from Philadelphia Spectrum, which was called by Dick Graham and Kurt Runman. Eventually it was Dick Graham and Gorilla Monsoon and Dick Graham and like Lord Alfred Hayes and superstar Billy Graham calling the matches, and those like Philadelphia house shows were real popular. And Prism also showed a lot of sports related shows as well, like sports talk shows of the Philadelphia area. They were pretty good. And also Prism had a kids block of shows, which actually was hosted by former 76ers coaches, which was pretty amazing. And Prism showed a lot of movies as well, and some entertainment shows, music shows. They showed movie libraries from 20th Century Fox and Columbia Movies, now Sony Movies. And this was different from all the subscription television, because most subscription television services just showed movies, but Prism was different. In 1981, Prism added a second affiliate, Prism New England, which showed the Celtics and Whalers games plus movies as well. 1983, 20th Century Fox and Spectre Tour sold their half of Prism to Rainbow Medias, which owns Sports Channel America, and Prism New England was rebranded as Sports Channel New England, but Prism in Philadelphia remained the same, but it was losing a lot of money. And in 1984, they started to have to run like commercials during the sporting events, but because they didn't show commercials during the movies, because they were first run movies, and in between the movies with little break, they were hyping up the next movies or the sporting events, because Prism lost tons of money in 1984. They had to recoup that back by showing commercials during their sporting events. And by 1985, Prism was sold to CBS Corporation, and the subscribers to Prism reached a peak of about 400,000 in the late 1980s. It was mainly outside of Philadelphia where most of its viewers are until like the late 1980s, because the city of Philadelphia was not wired for cable 100% to the late 1980s, which was very, very surprising. In 1990, Prism spun off a portion to make Sports Channel Philadelphia, and that showed Phillies games, the Flyers games, and 76ers games, but they were road games. Plus they had the Sports Channel America programming, while Prism continued on to carry the home games of the Philadelphia sports teams, but they were continuing to lose big time money. And by the late 1990s, Prism was having difficulty keeping the 76ers games and Flyers games and the Phillies games, because these teams wanted to cash in with their own regional sports network totally to carry all their games. By 1997, Prism was basically out of business because they lost the rights to 76ers games and Phillies games and Flyers games to Comcast Sportsnet. And also Sports Channel Philadelphia was folded as well. And Prism was kind of ahead of its time with like having a mix of entertainment and sports, and it was a real great regional network for carrying home team games. This is what many regional sports networks did at first, like carry the home team's home games. Eventually they carried the road games as well, but they just basically carried home games of the Philadelphia sports teams, and the WWE house shows were pretty amazing. And that's about it on Prism. I'll be back later for the third and final video blog of the night, which will be about WWE Hall of Famer, the late great Big John Studd, who was, when he wrestled, the only true giant of professional wrestling. Keep calm, everybody! I'm a Julie Butter guy. Molly Roseblood of WCCO rocks and has nice legs. Elizabeth Hart's so stunning, and she's the best, and she's also got nice legs as well. Amy Swemsey of Reach 2 rocks, and of course she has nice legs. And Michelle Beadle is the best. And in the words of Dr. Tomashaki, this action will not be tolerated at BMHS. And don't forget Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Google+. Questions, comments, concerns, shoutouts, plugs, and video blog suggestions, send it to me, and it will be addressed in only 20 more days into the second Ask Rick's video blog. So, please send in those questions, and they'll be answered. Bye. See you tonight.